or next time it's gonna be worse. And if you try to tell somebody, trust me, they won't believe you. What's poppin', everybody? It's your girl Azalea, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a story time based on some of my experiences that happened to me while I was held at the El Paso County Jail as a transgender woman. And I will also be exposing some of the officers who may or may not still work there. So the first incident I'm going to be talking about happened May 22nd, 2017 at approximately 7 a.m. according to my personal documentation. This incident regards a deputy named Deputy Dorsey and happened on my way to court. So Deputy Dorsey came and got me from medical where I was currently housed at. He had tried to pat search me. A pat search is a whole body sweep which includes the chest area, the back area, the legs, the arms, the hair, a mouth check, just to make sure that there is no contraband. And a pat search does differ from a male to female, mostly regarding the breast area. So during that time, medical had issued a form saying that I was supposed to be stripped down by female staff just because of my gender identity, and I did have a little bit of breast development, and I did feel more comfortable with a female patting me out than I did a male. So when Deputy Dorsey did try to approach me to pat search me, I had just informed him like, hey, a female staff member is supposed to pat me down per medical and per higher ups. Deputy Dorsey said, but you're a dude, right? And I said, no. And he was like, but you're... And then he called me my birth name, and I said, well, legally, yes, I am. He completely disregarded my request for a female officer. He patted me down anyways, and then he escorted me to the van for court. So when he was escorting me to the van, he started asking me some weird, inappropriate questions that you don't even ask a regular person on the street. You know, you're not just gonna go ask these people these questions. He's asked me what was in between my legs. He's asked me if I was a hermaphrodite, and then he said that I was messing up his bar game. So he continued to call me a dude pretty much the whole time until we got to the van. When I got into the van, I had realized like, oh damn, they just put me with the dudes. I'm still segregated in the front and the dudes are in the back, and there's like a bar in between us because I'm still a segal because I'm housed in medical. And when I was getting into the van, Officer Dorsey escorted me in there and screamed really loudly so all the dudes in the back could hear as well. I'll see you in a little bit. And then he called me my birth name so that all the dudes could hear. Almost instantly after he had said that, all the dudes just started screaming at me, yelling at me, telling me to show them my telling me that they're gonna kill me, that they're gonna find me when I get out, just for being a transgender woman. Not for anything. I never met none of these dudes in my life. But just because he screamed that and let them know that I was trans and that I was different, they decided to attack me. While they continued to harass me pretty much the whole ride, I'm gonna sit there and I'm going to defend myself. And Officer Dorsey turns around and says, shut up! And then he calls me my birth name once again. So you guys, that's kind of just a little taste of what I would have to go through as a transgender woman on a regular basis going through the justice system. Moving forward to the next incident, this incident played a really big part in my jail experience. It really almost traumatized me in a sense. It just showed me how inhumane people can be to another individual just for being different. With this incident, I do have multiple testimonies from multiple women who were in the same pod as me when this situation did happen. At the end of the video, I will be sharing some of their testimonies of what happened in their perspective so that you can kind of get two different viewpoints. So this incident occurred on May 26, 2017 at approximately 6 p.m. on Alpha 2 with Deputy Gordon. So before I dive into the story, I just want to give you guys some context of jail terms that are used so you guys can completely understand the situation. So there are two jail terms that I'm going to be discussing. One is the MPR room. The MPR room is a multi-purpose room used for multiple activities with the jail. Sometimes they do churches in there, sometimes they do visits in there, whatever it's used for. And the second one is toilet talking. Toilet talking is where you pump out the water in your toilet and then you can talk to the people above you. The guys that were above us were men. They were the Charlie ward and we were Alpha. Alpha is below Charlie, and a lot of the boys and girls would communicate and do whatever through there. Sometimes they would fish stuff, sometimes we would just talk, you know, whatever you want to do. Now that you guys have some context, let's get into the story. At this time, I was just getting off suicide watch, so I had gotten moved back to the top tier of Alpha 2. I'm still in the hole. And I'm cleaning my room, and I tell my neighbor, Jazzy, to tell my boyfriend upstairs that I just got back. So she pops her toilet to talk to him, and I pop mine just so that I could listen to see like what she's saying. If she's talking about me to him, you know, whatever. I just want to listen because I want to hear his voice. So I think Gordon heard somebody toilet talking. Obviously, it was Jazzy. And she starts creeping up the stairs. Then she stops at my room, knocks on the door, and asks me, hey, are you toilet talking? I'm like, no, I'm sitting there cleaning my room. So she opens my door, looks at my toilet, and sees that there's no water in it and that my toilet's popped. She stops and she calls on her radio, back up, Alpha 2. So while she was waiting for backup, I like sat there and I told her that I said, hey bro, like for real, like on some real I was not toilet talking, like on God. I wasn't toilet talking. Like yell in the toilet, scream at somebody, nobody's gonna answer you because nobody's there. I really wasn't toilet talking. And she didn't even care. She didn't even engage with me. So backup finally does come, and it's Deputy Roybal. Roybal is actually pretty cool. She's not like trying to get back at nobody. She don't really give a fuck, you know what I mean? She's younger, she's really pretty. So if you're watching this Roybal right now, just know that you a bad bitch, period. So Deputy Gordon and Deputy Roybal escort me to the NPR room, which is pretty much right across the hall from Alpha 2. And Gordon goes back to the pod because she's the only staff member in there. And then me and Roybal, she chills with me for a second. And since me and Roybal already have like a rapport or whatever, and we've already like talked before, she's worked with me before, I feel, you know, comfortable. And I'm like, hey girl, like I for real wasn't toilet talking, bro. Like on some real shit, I really wasn't on my life. And Roybal pretty much just says, just let it go, bro. There's a bigger fight to it. Just to let it go that, you know, people are just gonna pick at people just to pick at people. It doesn't matter if I'm in the right or I'm in the wrong. So I was like, okay, cool, you're right, bro. I'ma just let it go. I'ma just chill. So she leaves and I'm just chilling there by myself and I'm looking at my pod and seeing if Gordon's gonna let somebody out for that we're out. And all I see is these feet running back and forth. All you can see from the top tier from the NPR room is their feet. And that's all I could see. And then I see Medline go in there and hand out meds. A couple girls walk down the stairs, get their meds, go back up to the room, and then Medline leaves. When Medline leaves, Gordon finally comes to get me. So Gordon came and got me and started escorting me back to my cell. Right when we hit the pod door, I just had all these comments flying at me. They were screaming comments from, you're a man, you're a boy, that's why you take estrogen, you'll never be a woman. They were screaming out my government name, just trying to belittle me as much as they could, and they were all teaming up against me with the officer. And in this time in my life, these comments were so regular to me, and they were coming from every which way, from every which person that I would talk to, that I would interact with, and they were just so hurtful to me, and I really believe that they took a really big toll on my mental health. So Gordon doesn't even try to like stop the comment, she doesn't try to intervene, she just completely ignores it, walks me up my stairs, gets to my room, unhandcuffs me, and shuts the door. Right when I get to my room, I see that my room is trashed. My room is disgusting. When I say disgusting, I mean disgusting. These girls are still screaming at me, calling me names, telling me to look at my room, laughing at me, just trying to dehumanize me. So it was pretty late at night already, so there wasn't like a whole lot of light coming into the cell. So I was pretty blind to the chaos that was my room. Immediately I see my things had been went through, some things had been stolen, and my room had been completely flipped. But that wasn't all. I turn around and I look at my toilet and there was defecation and urination from other human beings all around my toilet seat, all inside of my toilet, and all around the underside of the toilet. In that moment, I took a step back and I thought to myself, is this really happening right now? It literally looked like 3 people went in my cell. All of them took a put it in their hands and smeared it everywhere. So right away, like a natural reaction, I go and I try to flush my toilet, and by no surprise, the wonderful Deputy Gordon had shut off my water. So when I realized that my water was off, I went straight to the emergency button that's located in the cell and started pressing it. Boom, 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 boom. And I started screaming at myself, I want to talk to an authority. I want to talk to an authority, because I wanted somebody to know what she just did to me. They then silenced my emergency button and pretty much said I was false reporting and I was forced to sit in other people's feces for about 30 minutes. I screamed and I yelled and I banged and I tried to get attention, but nobody could hear me. Nobody could hear me over everybody else screaming and yelling at me, calling me names and doing this, that, and the other. So I was forced to just sit there until Gordon finally decided to come upstairs and turn on my water. After Gordon had turned on my water, she had came to my cell door and told me, clean up your cell and flush your toilet. I refused to clean up my cell and flush my toilet, and I told Gordon, no, I want this documented and I want somebody to see what you just did to me. And she responded, do it or I will. Now I think Deputy Gordon knew that I wasn't finna do nothing. So she opened the door, she flushed my toilet and turned to leave. As she was leaving, she turned around and she looked at me and she said, stop toilet talking or next time it's gonna be worse. And if you try to tell somebody, trust me, they won't believe you. Now, before she left that night, she came to my cell one more time and she knocked on it and she said, come here. Now, next time, if I catch you toilet talking again, I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna tell all the boys that you're a man. And don't worry, I already told everybody in your ward that you're indeed a boy. So after this incident, I did file a grievance. I tried to take it all the way up. I had conversations with majors, with captains about her. They had done like a whole little recording with it. And, you know, I just had felt like it had never gotten anywhere. I didn't really see anything happen to her. I didn't hear anything. They weren't telling me anything. And the only thing that I really knew was that she wasn't allowed to come around me. But she did anyways. It didn't really stop her. But in there, you don't really have a voice. Even when I had got to prison, I tried to file a lawsuit, but I just didn't know what I was doing or like what to do or what steps to take. So I was pretty much just stuck with the fact that she was never going to be held accountable for what she had done to me. And even to this day, she still walks free. No accountability needs to be taken. And these are just two situations out of the dozens of incidents that have happened to me while in the justice system. I'm also going to read 2 witness testimonies from 2 other inmates. There are more testimonies, but I'm only going to read 2 of other inmates who were in the same ward as me when this incident did occur. So the first statement is going to be from a woman named Breanne Martin, and she signed this testimony on 6/9/2017. Here is her statement. On May 26, 2017, around dinner time, Saucedo J was moved from her cell into the NPR room by Deputy Gordon. Jay was asking while being escorted, why am I being moved? When Gordon returned, she began saying, what do I do if he won't keep his face out of the toilet? And that if he did it again, he was gonna cause all of us to lose our hour out the following day. Then Gordon said, better yet, I got something to fix him. Which at this time, Gordon opened cell 14 and allowed inmate Bridgeford to go into cell 15 in Jay's toilet. Then Deputy Gordon went and opened cell 10 and again told DeLuna and Parado to go Jay's toilet. After they did, Gordon proceeded to shut off Saucedo's water so she couldn't flush it. As Gordon proceeded to go get Jay from the NPR room, she said, there, that should fix him. But then she doubled it. He was always going to talk in the toilet. At this point, the nurse walked in before Gordon had the chance to get Saucedo, and the nurse, Maria, began to pass meds. When I approached the cart, Gordon said, Martin, ask the nurse yourself. Why would a 19-year-old female need to take estrogen if she wasn't a boy? I just said, wow, and Maria just shook her head yes. Then Gordon went and got Jay and put her in her cell with no water and a toilet full of poop. Sincerely, Breanne Martin, 6/9/2017. So the second testimony is from a woman named Carly McAllister and was signed on Monday, June 19, 2017. To whom it may concern, on either May 26th or 27th of year 2017, an inmate named Saucedo was victimized by last name Gordon, first name unknown, an employee at El Paso County Criminal Justice Center. Deputy Gordon had inmate Luna and inmate Richford participate in bullying Saucedo by her cell toilet while gone and making her sit in there with it upon return. Deputy Gordon individually walked around and told everyone in A2 that if inmate Saucedo proceeded in toilet talking, we would as a whole lose our hour out. Deputy Gordon walked around saying inmate Saucedo was a man and calling her he and telling us that he has a penis. I feel as though Deputy Gordon should be reprimanded and inmate Saucedo should be able to file a lawsuit against El Paso County for this misconduct. Deputy Gordon abused her authority to the fullest. Even if the said information were true, Deputy Gordon is violating a Privacy Act. This is under any circumstances is unsafe and wrong. I am willing to vouch for Saucedo over any situation. If any further questions or concerns you can reach me at her phone number. Please do not hesitate to come speak with me at any time. Please see that something is done. Thank you so much, Carly McAllister. June 19th, 2017. So that's just two of the testimonies of other people's point of view during that situation and what all had unfolded that day. It was a very hard story for me to tell, but I feel like it needed to be told to let others know about the cruel and unusual treatment that I faced as a transgender woman going through the justice system. And for everybody out there who has went through this in their past, who may go through it in the future, who may be going through it right now, I just want to let you know, like, you're not alone. That just because you make mistakes and you're different, that doesn't make you not a person. That we got to stand up against this cruel and unusual treatment done to us minorities. That we have a voice. That just because we didn't have a voice in there doesn't mean that I don't have a voice out here. And I will be heard. And so will all of you. Period. Alright, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you guys did like this video, make sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up.
Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already.
And make sure to turn on post notifications so you guys do know when I post another video. And make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you guys do show me. I love you guys so much. Until next time, shine bright, my